On the day of our wedding anniversary, I found out I was pregnant. I slipped through the rain to the private lounge where Daryl was spending the evening, wanting to surprise him. Outside the door, through the gap left ajar, I heard him talking with his friends about a surprise he had planned for our wedding. Josephine still has no idea she's been sleeping with both of us. Every winter, I send my twin brother to take my place with her. Through the crack in the door, amid the roar of laughter, I caught sight of a man who looked almost identical to Daryl. Imagine the look on her face at the wedding when she sees that video of my brother on top of her. I clutched the pregnancy test results in my hand, ready to storm in and demand to know why he'd done this to me. But then I heard Daryl's voice again. Sarah's career has taken off. Josephine served her purpose. Sure, she lost her family and her career because of me, but I gave her a few good years of the high life. I'd say we're even. The casual indifference in his tone sent ice through my veins. A man who had done everything in his power to hurt me for the sake of another woman. I was done with him. And everything he had stolen from me, I would take back, every last piece. Inside the private lounge, the men kept egging each other on. Come on, Daryl, you've lost 3 rounds of dice in a row. You owe us something juicy. What's this big surprise you've got planned for Josephine at next week's makeup wedding? I stood outside the door, heart brimming with sweetness. 3 years since we'd signed the marriage certificate, and Daryl had been so consumed by work that the wedding kept getting pushed back. Now I was going to bring our baby along and finally make it complete. Ha! Bro, Josephine is such a fool. She has absolutely no clue you've got an identical twin brother. What do you guys think? If she finds out at the wedding that the man keeping her warm every winter was actually me, and then she sees our little bedroom video, will she lose it right there on the spot? The laughter inside swelled even louder. My legs buckled, and I nearly collapsed. I stepped forward, pressed myself against the door frame, and peered through the gap. Beside Daryl sat a man with the exact same face. Daryl leaned back on the sofa and clapped him on the shoulder. Vincent Sanchez, I owe you for these past 2 years. Your visits made it possible for me to be with Sarah. The man exhaled a stream of smoke, the haze blurring his features. I don't get it, bro. Sarah was your college crush, so why'd you marry Josephine? Even in bed, she's boring as hell. I'm so sick of her. The men who usually greeted me with fawning smiles and called me Mrs. Sanchez were now leering and cracking vulgar jokes. I stood frozen, struck as if by lightning, unable to move, but the fury inside me burned hotter with every second. I drew a deep breath, gripped the door handle, and steeled myself to charge in and confront Daryl. Then the words from inside stopped me dead. I was only ever with her for Sarah's sake. At the sound of that name, my fingers tightened around the pregnancy report until the paper crumpled. There was a tenderness in Daryl's voice I had never once heard before. Sarah went abroad right after college to chase her dream of becoming a jewelry designer. By the time I wanted to go find her, she'd gotten married. Later, when the international jewelry design competition came around, Sarah was so anxious about Josephine entering the same contest that she couldn't sleep. It broke my heart. I knew I had to help her. Gasps of admiration erupted around the room, everyone praising his devotion. I stood outside the door, and the memory of that accident years ago crashed over me. Cold sweat soaked through the back of my dress. The man on the sofa wore an expression of pride and tender indulgence. None of you would ever guess. I personally planned Josephine's car accident, so she'd miss the competition. Sarah sailed to victory using the designs I gave her. Josephine's so stupid. She even saw the winning piece afterward and said it looked familiar, but she never figured out I'd stolen her work.